original judgment dictation start by the judgment of this court in Secretary Minister of Defense versus Babita Punia, the claim of women engaged on short service commissions in the Indian Army for seeking permanent commission was evaluated and held to be justified. Addressing the background of the dispute, the judgment described this as a quest for equality of opportunity for women seeking PCS. As the court observed, a decade and more spent in litigation, women engaged on short service commissions in the Army seek parity with their male counterparts. The battle for equality has been long drawn, engaging as much with reforming mindsets as with implementing constitutional principles. The path traversed by the women SSC officers commenced with a writ petition in public interest before the Delhi High Court in 2003. The judgment of the Delhi High Court, which substantially upheld the entitlement of the WSSCOS, was rendered on 12 March 2010. The judgment of the Delhi High Court and its directions formed the subject matter of the earlier proceedings before this court, which resulted in the decision in Babita Punia Supra being rendered on 17 February 2020 between 12 March 2010, when the Delhi High Court pronounced its judgment, and 17 February 2020, when this court rendered its decision in Babita Punia Supra. There was no stay of the implementation of the judgment of the Delhi High Court. This, as a matter of fact, was clarified on 2nd September 2012 in an order of this court. Despite the above clarification, the judgment of the High Court was not implemented by the Union government. Several interim orders were issued for directing a stay on the release of the WSSCOS for reinstatement in service, coupled with an entitlement to salary during the pendency of the appeal before this court. The Union government and the Ministry of Defense (MOD) issued a communication on 25th February 2019 envisaging the grant of PCS to WSSCOS in 8 arms or services of the Army, in addition to the existing 2 streams of Judge Advocate General and Army Education Corps, which had already been opened up for PC to WSSCOS. Eventually, in the judgment of this court dated 17 February 2020, the following directions were issued to the Union government while taking on record its policy statement dated 25 February 2019. This batch of petitions under Article 32 has cautioned the manner in which the decision of this court in Babita Punya Supra has been implemented, since the grievance in these proceedings emanates directly out of the steps taken by the Union government to implement the earlier decision of this court in Babita Punya Supra. This court has entertained the petitions under Article 32 initially in the counter affidavit filed by the Colonial Military Secretary Legal at the integrated headquarters of the Ministry of Defense Army. An objection was raised to the maintainability of the petitions on the ground that the petitioners should be relegated to the pursuit of remedies before the Armed Forces Tribunal. However, this plea has not been pressed in the submissions by Mr. Sanjay Jain, learned additional Solicitor General, appearing on behalf of the Union of India, the MOD, and the Indian Army. The respondents, through their written submissions, have also agreed to formulate a policy for granting time scale promotions to the WSSCOS who have been granted PC